we see so many women who don't come from where we come from, who were not raised in the environments that we were raised in, and we look at them and we say, oh, I want to be like that. What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Shameka if you are new, and if you're joining us for the first time, make sure you go ahead and click that subscribe button, click the bell so you can be notified every time I post, and make sure you leave a comment down below. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you all 7 tips to starting your feminine journey, and this video is specifically for my black women, my women who were born in the hood, born in the ghetto, not really born into privilege. You know, if you're from the inner cities, this video is for you. If you're someone who had to be tough and rough growing up, you never were able to be the lady that you envision for yourself, then this video is for you. So the first tip that I have for you, if you're looking to start your feminine journey, you have to first forgive yourself. You know, you can't control the environment that you were born in, the family that you were born into, or anything of the sort. So forgive yourself for who you are and for some of the things that you've done. You know better. When you know better, you do better. And a lot of times we didn't know better growing up. We were born in these environments and they shaped us and molded us. They made us tough, they made us hard, they made us rough, they made us aggressive. And though those traits are great to have when necessary, it's not something that you want to carry with yourself every day. But don't be too hard on yourself. Forgive yourself for who you are and where you come from, because a lot of that had nothing to do with you, and a lot of that wasn't necessarily your choice. I'm sure we all had the choice. We would love to have been born into privilege, and we would love to have had the matriarchs of our family be these superior feminine women, but again, that's all out of our control. Forgive yourself for the things that you don't like about yourself, and don't be too hard on yourself. We weren't raised in environments where we could see the women around us completely and totally rest in their femininity. Maybe the matriarchs in your family are not the most feminine women. Maybe they're more aggressive and rough and have hard exteriors, and you're trying to get away from that. And that's okay, because again, if you weren't raised in that environment, then 9 times out of 10 the matriarchs in your family were also not privy to being able to fully rest in their femininity. I think it's a privilege to be able to rest in your femininity and to be born into a family where there are women who you can look to and see that they are very comfortable in who they are and with their feminine energy. Step number 2 is to just sit back and define your new life. Define who you're going to be, who you're going to be in your family, what role you're going to play toward others, what does the new feminine you look like? Who are you going to be in your friendships? How do you want to act? How do you want to respond to situations? How do you want to dress? What do you want your hobbies to be? What do you want your daily routine to be? What do you want your self-care routine to be? It's important that you take a step back and figure out who you're trying to become, so that you can clearly have a vision of who that girl is and in her most feminine self. I think it's important to probably make something like a vision board, or even just journal what you're looking toward becoming, just so you can have a visual to see the new life that you want for yourself. And in doing this process, you don't want to strip away who you are at your core. You want to leave some of the things that make you unique and make you you. You don't want to become a new, unidentifiable, unrecognizable person. You just want to become more refined and more feminine in the skin and in the person that you already are. And step number 3 is what I would say is the hardest part in beginning your feminine journey, because it's more so about what's on the inside. I think the hardest part when you're talking about transforming into becoming a more feminine woman, the hardest part is the characteristics that you display, and it has a lot to do with how you feel about yourself on the inside and how you feel about the world. It's one thing to look pretty. It's not hard to look pretty and change your wardrobe. That's the easy part. But to change your characteristics and the things that define you as a person is going to take some time, and it's going to be difficult, because I'm on this journey as well, and it's definitely been a work in process. But the things that you want to ask yourself are, what characteristics do you want to display, and how are you going to start to implement those? So for instance, are you a patient person? Are you compassionate? Are you loving? Are you positive? Is your energy radiant and bright, or do you seem to always have a dark cloud around you? Those are the characteristics that I think a feminine woman has. I think a feminine woman is compassionate, she's loving, she's caring, she's patient. I think she listens more than she speaks. I think she's a solution-oriented woman. I think she's a woman who faces her problems head on, and she's not afraid to speak up and voice her opinion, but she also knows when to be quiet and when to listen. So more characteristics that I think define a feminine woman are you reactive? Are you impulsive? Do you make emotional decisions? Do you yell a lot? Do you curse a lot? Do you scream a lot? Are you loud? Are you boisterous? A lot of those characteristics are characteristics that we normally have due to our environment, due to being raised in the hood, due to coming from poverty-stricken areas. We're naturally loud and aggressive and all of those things. But I think as you sit back and think about tapping into your more feminine energy, you kind of need to tone some of those characteristics down, because being loud and aggressive and impulsive and emotional and reactive are not the characteristic traits of a feminine woman, in my opinion. And as far as the cursing goes, because I want to be clear that I'm a work in progress, but I do not believe that a feminine woman, a woman who is truly able to rest in her femininity, I don't see her cursing like a sailor. The women who I look toward, who I look at as examples or inspiration for resting in their femininity, I don't see them cursing like a sailor. Do I see them curse every now and again? Yes, but they don't curse as much as I do. And again, I just want to point out that I'm still working on this journey. I'm still traveling along the road. I'm not where I want to be. So if you watch my vlogs, you guys know if I'm talking about something and I'm passionate about it, it's probably going to be a lot of curse words, but that's something that I'm working on. So don't be too hard on yourself. It's a lot of things that I think a feminine woman should have, a lot of characteristics that I think a feminine woman should have that I do not have, that I do not currently possess, but I'm working toward it each and every day. And I know what I'm working towards because I have my vision board and I have my journal, and I clearly see and have a vision of the woman that I'm trying to become. Step number 4. I don't know how I missed this step earlier. I almost skipped it. But step number 4 is self-care. And when I say self-care, I am specifically talking about therapy. You as an individual need to look into some form of therapy to help you cope with your past traumas, help you figure out your triggers, help you figure out what it is that's making you unhappy, help you figure out what it is you need to do to become a more happier person. The happier that you are on the inside, the happier that you will make those around you. If you're someone who's always unhappy, you're always triggered by certain things, you don't know how to respond to conflict, you're always having the same type of issues, you're always ending up in the same type of situations, you may need to go to therapy to figure out what it is about you that is making you so unhappy. One of the main purposes of therapy is to just figure you out and figure out your inner workings, figure out what makes you happy, what makes you tick, what makes you sad, what makes you angry, so that down the line you can learn to control those impulses. It's one thing to be 21 and to be sporadic and crazy and all over the place, but as you start to get older and into your later 20s, that's not something that you really want to carry with yourself, and that's not something that you should want to be known for. People should know that they can have a conversation with you like an adult, and that it could be resolved in a nice manner, you know. So if you're aware of your triggers and you're aware of what makes you tick and what makes you angry and what makes you explode, then you have a better chance of controlling those and preventing those. We all have things about ourselves that we don't like. We all have things about ourselves that we need to work on. And if you're able to identify those things and actually work on them, then you have a better chance at being able to fully rest in your femininity, because you'll know who you are, you'll know how to respond to certain situations, you'll know how to handle yourself when certain situations arise, and you'll ultimately know how to basically, it's you versus you. You'll know how to combat who you used to be with who you are now. So you'll know when a situation arises, okay, this is how the old me would respond, but this is how the new, more feminine, softer version of myself, this is how I'm going to respond to this. I'm not going to allow you to take me back to who I was, because that's no longer who I am. I'm working on becoming this person, and this is how she's going to respond in this moment. And when you're able to figure all that out, we're able to live more happier, fulfilling lives, and that's going to show in the way we treat others and the way we treat ourselves, and just the energy that we carry about as we go through the world each day. As you guys know or may not know, I've been in therapy myself for almost a year, and so that's why I say I've been on this feminine journey for just about a year, because I started it shortly after starting therapy, and I can really start to see the changes within myself. Again, this does not happen overnight. It takes a lot of time, and even throughout the process you're gonna fall short plenty of times, but falling short is what's needed, because if you don't fall short while you're on the process, then you won't actually be able to improve anything. You need to have certain things happen so that you can correct the behavior, refine the behavior, and learn from your experience. The fifth step that I have for becoming the ultimate feminine woman that you're looking to be is to enhance your appearance. Now I say enhance, not alter, not change, not try to become somebody else, not become unrecognizable, but do small things to make you feel better about yourself when you look in the mirror. So if you have bad teeth, look into getting dental work. If you're a bit overweight, look into a workout plan. It doesn't have to be something so great and drastic. You don't have to go out and lose 80 pounds to feel better about yourself, but just do little things to tweak your appearance that you're comfortable with doing and that don't compromise your morals and your values and ultimately your health. Don't go out and get a BBL just because all the girls are getting BBLs. Don't go out and get lip fillers just because all the girls are getting lip fillers. If you've always been comfortable with your butt and you've always been happy with your lips, don't look into getting things just because they are trendy. Do things to enhance your appearance because you truly want to enhance your appearance and you're not trying to be someone else. And also refrain from comparing your body to another individual's body. We're all different. We're all unique. We all were born in whatever skin that we were born in. So your goal should never be to look exactly like someone else. It's nothing wrong with looking at others for inspiration, but you kind of just want to refine and fine-tune the skin that you're in. You don't want to try to look identical to somebody else. This is not a copy-paste type of world. We're all different, uniquely different individuals, and I think it's important to maintain our individuality. So don't hop on trends just because they're trending. If you are happy with the skin that you're in and you see nothing about your appearance that you want to change, then that's great as well. But don't let what you see being pushed on social media influence you to go out and enhance your appearance if you really don't feel like you need it. But if you do feel like you need it, take the time to find out what it is about your appearance that makes you feel insecure. Work on that, improve that, enhance that, and do whatever needs to be done to feel better about yourself. The sixth step that I have, one of the ones that I'm still working on, is be careful and be mindful of how you present yourself to the world. So that means when you step outside of the house, you need to be, I wouldn't say looking your best, but being presentable. So that means no bonnets, no edge bands, no head scarves, no pajamas, no slippers. You need to make sure that when you're walking outside, you are at least approachable. People do feel like that they can talk to you and you have a welcoming appearance. You don't want to go outside with holes in your pants or stained clothes or dirty clothes. You always want to have your hygiene on point. Now, I don't struggle with my hygiene at all, but I do struggle with looking presentable when I step outside. So I may walk outside in a t-shirt that I've been wearing all day and some sweatpants that don't match and some shoes that don't match and just go run my errands. That's not acceptable if you're trying to be a feminine woman from where I stand. That's not acceptable for myself. It would be more acceptable if I put on maybe a matching jogging suit set or a matching athletic set, some decent tennis shoes, and a nice jacket to match. That's more presentable. You look more approachable, and I think when you show up looking how you want to be treated in the world, you get the type of energy that you're attracting. So if I look pretty decent, my energy probably welcomes help and welcomes compliments. If I make sure that my hair is at least brushed and it looks managed and looks like I keep it up, I bring about an energy that kind of shows people that, okay, she can be approached. She has welcoming energy, if you get what I'm saying. If you just walk out the house looking any type of way, people aren't going to approach you. People aren't going to want to talk to you. People aren't going to want to just have small conversation. It's so many times that I go out the house looking a plum fool. And when I tell you, I do all of that and I don't speak to anybody and no one speaks to me. And, you know, sometimes I like it like that. But I noticed that when I put a bit more effort into my appearance, I may talk to an older lady at the grocery store. Someone may offer to help me with my groceries. Someone may even just give me a small compliment such as, oh, you smell nice, or, oh, I really like your tennis shoes, or, oh, I really like your purse. People are more inclined to speak to you and have small chatter with you when you look presentable. And then through that small chatter and those small interactions, you never know what opportunities may present themselves. If you're single and you're looking for a new man, making sure that you look presentable when you walk out the house invites men to want to come speak to you and talk to you and potentially shoot their shot. If maybe you're looking for a new career and maybe you run across somebody who's speaking on a certain subject and you can kind of interject and show your knowledge, maybe that conversation can result in a job opportunity. But it started with you leaving out the house and feeling comfortable about what you had on, and that in turn gave you the courage to speak up and talk to people and interact with people. When you walk out the house looking any type of way, you don't want to interact with nobody. You trying to do what you got to do and come back home, and that's fine, but that shouldn't become a habit. That shouldn't become your ritual. And so the 7th tip that I have if you're looking to start your feminine journey is one that's kind of for others, but it's also for you, and that's just to smile more often and be positive. I know growing up in the hood, you kind of have to have a mug on your face all the time, so the guys don't approach you at the gas station, they don't approach you at the corner store, and people ultimately know that you're not to be messed with. Like if you keep like a little mug on your face, people will know kind of not to step to you. That's kind of the mentality that we have to have, because if you're always smiling and you look so welcoming and positive, people think that they can take advantage of you or that they can play with you, and you don't even want it to get to that. So you develop this really hard exterior, and it has a lot to do with how you position your face, mannerisms, and how you carry yourself, your body language. So when we talk about resting in our femininity, that's something that we need to alter. We need to smile more and just have a more positive, radiant energy. Don't always be so negative and so defensive and so always ready to be combative. And I think I say that this one is more so for others than it is for you, because when you smile more, you appear more welcoming, and when you're a much more positive person, people want to talk to you more. If your friends are coming to you with a problem and you're always on the defense, or you're always seeing things from a negative point of view, or you're always having something to say that kind of amplifies or makes their worries or concerns valid and bigger than what they maybe need to be, you may not be somebody who people always want to talk to and call. You know, you want to be somebody who, when people talk to you, when people reach out to you, they know that they're going to leave the conversation feeling better than they did when they came with it. So when someone comes to you with a problem, you want to try to breathe life into the situation. Try to have them think positively about it. If your friend is stressed out about something, you want to kind of give her a different alternative. Let her know that, you know, maybe it's not what you think it is. God wouldn't do that. Maybe, you know, try to just breathe life into people. Don't always harp on the negative. And I think that's really important, because as humans, we are social beings. We all want to be around people, and ultimately, even in the smallest bit, we care about what people think about us. And I think when you're smiling more and you're a positive person, people think positive thoughts when it pertains to you, and people want to be around that type of energy. They want to be around that type of person. So if you're a woman who they know, okay, when I call Shameka, she's going to say something good. She's going to make me feel better about the situation. She's going to smile. We're going to laugh. And at the end of the day, I'm going to feel better after I'm done talking to her. That's the type of energy that I want people to have when they speak about me, and when they think about me, and when they think about talking to me. I want them to always feel that good, positive, happy energy. So that's all that I have for this video. Those are some of the 7 steps that I've been using to tap into my femininity. It's taken some time, you guys. I've only been on this journey for a little bit less than a year, so I'm nowhere near where I want to be. I work on all of these 7 steps that I just listed every single day, and I fall short many times. This isn't me telling you all what to do because I've mastered it, because I'm far from mastering it, but this is me allowing you all to come on a journey with me. Like, let's do this together, girl. I get you. I understand. I think a lot of times, especially you know, with the rise of social media and Instagram and things like that, we see so many women who don't come from where we come from, who were not raised in the environments that we were raised in, and we look at them and we say, oh, I want to be like that, but not taking into consideration all of our traumas, all of our past things that we've experienced, all of our heartbreak, all of our heartache, and all of the situations that we ultimately were put in that we had no control over. So don't compare yourself to anybody else. Some of the women I think that we may compare ourselves to, or that we may look to want to be like, those women were born in a life of a little bit more privilege than us, and they were put in they weren't put in the same type of situations as us, in the same type of environment as us. So our feminine journey isn't going to be like theirs. It's not going to be as easy for us, because maybe we've never seen anyone be able to fully rest in their femininity like someone else's mom or grandma. So, you know, don't really compare yourself to others. Stay on the journey and focus on you, and keep in mind that being a feminine woman is more than about just the way you look and the way you dress. I feel like a lot of women, when they talk about being more feminine, they talk about the way you look and the way you dress, and I think that that is one small component, but it's more so about the energy that you have about yourself and the way that you carry yourself on the inside. It's about when you open your mouth and you speak, what type of words come out, how do you think. I think that's more about what makes a woman feminine, not necessarily if she keeps her nails long and done, or if she keeps her toes manicured a certain way, or if she only wears nude clothing. I think that has a lot less to do with being feminine. So I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to leave me a comment down below. Leave me some suggestions. Again, these are just my 7 that I use on a daily basis, but if you have some suggestions that you use to get started on your feminine journey, make sure you leave a comment down below. Make sure you subscribe, because that's why we're here. We're here for the subscribe, you know. I love you all, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.